I was blacklisted from 50 to 58 in movies, and then another 2 or 3 years in television.
I did not get off the blacklist till 1964.
What if your government saw you as a threat, not because of anything you did, but simply because you existed at the wrong moment in history? In the 1950s, Hollywood became ground zero for a witch hunt that destroyed 325 careers searching for communist threats that never materialized. Decades later, in Trump's America, ICE deportations of non-criminals surged 146%, despite promises to target only dangerous individuals. Welcome to the machinery of manufactured fear. In this video, we'll uncover how these two defining American moments, the McCarthy era and the recent immigration crackdown, mirror each other with chilling precision. You'll see how democracies become vulnerable to prosecution, revealing a disturbing 6-step pattern authorities use to turn ordinary people into threats. History doesn't repeat, it rehearses. And today, it's our job to recognize when fear, disguised as safety, threatens democracy itself. Let's begin. After World War II, fear of communism swept America, and Hollywood became the prime target of a ruthless political crackdown. In 1947, the House Un-American Activities Committee shifted its focus to the movie industry, accusing filmmakers and actors of secretly spreading communist ideas. Politicians deliberately chose Hollywood because of its visibility, seeing it as the ideal stage to publicly showcase its patriotism. The committee's methods were carefully designed to create fear and silence resistance. In October 1947, over 40 Hollywood professionals received subpoenas. They faced a terrible choice: either accuse their friends and coworkers of communist ties or lose their jobs and risk jail time. Those accused couldn't even challenge their accusers in court. Meanwhile, people who cooperated were protected, even if their accusations were false. Behind the scenes, the FBI had already been secretly watching Hollywood since 1942, targeting films that opposed fascism or promoted social change. Powerful industry groups, like the Motion Picture Alliance, set guidelines telling screenwriters what they could or couldn't discuss. This turned Hollywood from a place of creativity into a place filled with suspicion and betrayal. Many studio executives, already vulnerable because of the anti-Semitism, chose to sacrifice their employees instead of fighting back. Their corporation allowed the committee's investigations to turn into a career-destroying blacklist. The most famous victims became known as the Hollywood 10. When screenwriters and directors, like John Howard Lawson, were pressured to admit communist ties, they refused, arguing it violated their constitutional rights. Their decision to resist cost them their freedom and their careers. The damage didn't stop there. Legends like Charlie Chaplin were forced out of the country. Orson Welles lost job opportunities overnight as the blacklist grew to include artists like Lena Horne, Langston Hughes, Arthur Miller, Leonard Bernstein, and Peter Seeger. Not because they were communists, but rather because they refused to betray others or their supported civil rights and equality. It didn't take long for Hollywood to accept the new, harsh reality. Everyone knew about the blacklist, yet it remained an unspoken truth. Writers started using fake names, many careers quietly disappeared, and fear began shaping which stories could be told and which could be buried. The prosecution during the blacklist era wasn't just about Hollywood. It revealed a troubling pattern in how democratic institutions could be turned against their own citizens. Behind the dramatic hearings and ruined careers was a carefully built system designed to deny basic rights. People accused had no real way to defend themselves. Those who made accusations were protected, making their claims impossible to challenge. The same pattern resurfaced decades later with immigration policies under the Trump administration. Rules were changed to allow rapid deportations without court hearings, making it harder for people to defend their rights. Just as during the blacklist, these procedures created a separate, shadowy legal system where constitutional protections became meaningless. Both eras also forced powerful enforcement agencies to carry out these campaigns. Similarly, under Trump, ICE gained new powers, expanding arrests beyond just criminals, making nearly anyone without proper documents vulnerable. Militarization became another shared tactic. During the Cold War, the FBI's extensive surveillance network created a climate of fear. In the modern era, immigration enforcement increasingly used military resources, with defense aircraft transporting thousands of detained immigrants. Both prosecutions quickly expanded beyond their initial targets. The Red Scare didn't stop at Hollywood. It spread into labor unions and civil rights groups. Similarly, immigration enforcement has broadened itself from criminals to ordinary people, impacting entire communities and families. Another similarity was how authorities viewed criticism as a threat. During the Blacklist, even broadcasters who tackled social issues found themselves accused of supporting communism. Likewise, recent immigration crackdowns labeled entire communities as dangerous, without distinguishing between criminals and peaceful residents. These institutional systems didn't act alone. They relied on powerful rhetoric to convince the public that extraordinary measures were necessary. As we'll see next, controlling public opinion through language was critical in justifying persecution. The persecution during the Blacklist era wasn't just about Hollywood. It revealed a troubling pattern in how democratic institutions could be turned against their own citizens. Behind the dramatic hearings and ruined careers was a carefully built system to deny basic rights. Institutions provided the tools for persecution, but words made it acceptable. Turning ordinary people into threats required specific language designed to trigger fear and suspicion. When Senator Joseph McCarthy spoke of secret lists of supposed communists working inside the government, he knew exactly what he was doing. These lists never actually appeared, but the fear they created was real. Decades later, Donald Trump used similar tactics. By repeatedly claiming immigrants were criminals and a threat to safety, he shaped public perception. Even through statistics showed immigrants were less likely to commit crimes. Both men understood the power of language. Words like Reds, communist sympathizers, illegal immigrants, or bad hombres stripped away people's humanity, making persecution feel justified. And the media amplified these messages in both eras, spreading accusations without demanding proof. Once labeled as threats, the accused rarely had the chance to clear their names. Instead, accusations were treated as facts, fueling public fear. Even when their claims were challenged by facts, both McCarthy and Trump responded by escalating their rhetoric. They knew emotion often overpowered reason, and once people believed in an invisible enemy, convincing them to support extreme measures became far easier. This same strategy has been repeated throughout human history. Identify a threat, claim secret knowledge about it, insist that extraordinary action is needed, and paint anyone who questions the story as part of the problem. Recognizing this pattern helps us see clearly how fear is manufactured and how democracy can become vulnerable to it. History offers a clear warning about the dangers of persecution. From Hollywood's Blacklist to modern-day immigration crackdowns, the pattern is always the same. Create fear, dehumanize the target, weaponize institutions, and silence criticism. A recent Los Angeles Times piece pointed out that today's political divisions have made understanding these historical patterns more urgent than ever. By recognizing these signs, we gain the power to resist them. Democracy isn't guaranteed. It depends on our willingness to protect it. History doesn't repeat. It rehearses, and the next act is ours to write. If you believe democracy is worth protecting, share this video and help others recognize the patterns before it's too late. This is Golden Noir, signing off.